trying to pass it up to Dowling, and there's the pass to Dowling. Dowling going to take a shot. Audrey Keener across to Keyser. Keyser shot in.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is just after 9 o'clock here at the Plasman Athletic Center in Turnstone, Fort Wayne, Indiana. For Power Soccer Shop, I'm Tony Jackson, and it is the final day of the 2019 USPSA MK Battery Conference Cup Series. The Premier Conference quarterfinals happening right now. We got 4 courts of action going on. Match you are about to see: Minnesota Shockwave versus San Jose Steamrollers. On Court 2, Circle City Rollers versus Turnstone Flyers. Court 3 has Sudden Impact from RHI versus Glasses Chicago Fire. And Court 4, CNY United versus Tampa Thunder. Your referee is Andy Green, and we are underway. Riley Johnson with the ball. That ball out of play. Omar Solorio hitting it out. And now Pete Winslow for the Shockwave, preparing to launch this ball. Chad Wilson, Riley Johnson, and there's a goal. 30 seconds, less than that it took for them to score. Minnesota Shockwave 1-0. And Pete Winslow, I mean, we saw it the other day. CNY United had all kinds of trouble stopping that shot from Pete Winslow, and San Jose Steamrollers also not able to keep that ball under control. Stanley Kwong for the Steamrollers going over to Ryan Connolly, and that ball is out of play. So now Pete Winslow going to take this kick now. Pete Winslow, if you've been watching U.S. Power Soccer for a while, he used to play with a foot guard that had rounded corners, and this season he switched over to a guard on his chair with the square corners, and in talking to him, he said it's added power to his kick. And if you've been watching, we already knew Pete Winslow was one of the hardest kickers in the game, and now he's able to kick it even harder. Ryan Connolly kicking down to Stanley Kwong. Actually, Pete Winslow grabs that ball before it goes out. Now him and Kwong are doing battle here. Johnson with it. The pass out to Wilson. Out of play, kicking coming up for San Jose. We're only 2 minutes into pretty much all the matches, and understandably no one has scored yet. However, we can't say the same for the Shockwave, who scored with under 30 seconds in this match. That ball springs out. Wilson. Riley Johnson takes it, trying to split the San Jose defenders. Johnson, Jairo Solorio. Now, Stanley Kwong against Johnson. Again, Johnson, we've said it before, but we'll repeat it. One of the best one-on-one attackers out there. Now, Pete Winslow sends that ball all the way across. Riley Johnson with another goal. And ladies and gentlemen, that kick from Pete Winslow is almost unstoppable. You really have to anticipate when that ball comes across. You see Jairo Solorio backs up as that kick was coming through. He's just trying not to give up any space to Winslow, who is not only one of the hardest kickers, but also one of the most accurate. And so it makes it extremely difficult when you're playing against him. Connolly has that ball taken away. Riley Johnson moving down the floor, and that's going to go out of play. Kick in coming up, and Shockwave preparing to kick again. Are they going to score? 2 set plays in a row. They've managed to come up with a goal, and Johnson with a shot, saved by Kwong. Winslow, that ball cleared out. Wilson, the pass across. Now Omar Solorio, nicely done to clear the ball out, but Chad Wilson's there. Connolly off of Wilson. Now Chad Wilson taking on Connolly, and he's really come along as well over the last couple of years. He definitely hasn't been playing as long as Johnson and Winslow, but again, Chad Wilson really developed into a fine player over the last few years. Winslow has the ball, but Jairo Solorio, nice save. Jairo Solorio takes the ball away from Wilson. Jairo Solorio getting around Johnson. Winslow close to a 2-on-1. Johnson gets the ball away, and now he's heading back down the floor, just pushing his way around Solorio. Now that's close to a 2-on-1 as well, but Pete Winslow now driving into the area. Stanley Kwong there to hold him off. Winslow just trying to find a moment to kick the ball out. Wilson at the near post. And Kwong does well to pull that ball away. And we're going to get a 2-on-1 violation on the Shockwave. Now on court 2, Turnstone Flyers at 1-0 over the Circle City Rollers. Oh, and Jairo Solorio misses that ball, but it didn't negatively affect the team. Goal kick coming up for the Steamrollers. Connolly, Kwong hits it back to Connolly. That ball still in play. It's right along the touchline, and Johnson so patient out there. And now the official says it went over the touchline, so kick in coming up for Shockwave. That ball comes all the way across to Wilson. Nice touch, Chad Wilson. Gets around Ryan Connolly. Now Johnson with a shot. Pete Winslow kicked that off the front of his guard, so now Johnson tries to go across to Wilson. Stanley Kwong trying to clear the area. And Wilson sends it out for a goal kick. On court 4, Tampa Thunder 1, CNY United 0. No score from the Glassa Chicago Fire RHI sudden impact game. Kick in coming up, and although this is a pretty long distance away, it's not too long for Pete Winslow. And now Connolly on the break. Wilson can't hold on to the ball. So kick in coming up for the Steamrollers. Stanley Kwong almost gets through the Shockwave defense. Johnson can't keep it in play, so kick in coming up again for the Steamrollers. San Jose trying to pull one back here. They're down 2-0. Connolly, Kwong hits it the wrong way. And now Jairo Solorio going against Pete Winslow. Solorio, nicely done, Jairo Solorio. The pass across. And Pete Winslow threatening a kick was just enough to hold up Stanley Kwong. Kick in coming up for the Shockwave. Connolly sends it up the floor to Omar Solorio, who puts it right into Pete Winslow. Kwong with a shot off of Johnson. Solorio clears the area, Pete Winslow going to try to fire a ball through. He's a long way away, but that ball right off the San Jose defenders. And that ball comes in quickly. You really have to be aware. Now, Shockwave looking to score again. And Jairo Solorio that time able to jump out early enough. Let's see. I wouldn't be surprised if Winslow at least tries to put one behind them at some point. Riley Johnson, Jairo Solorio. And the kick out does not leave Jairo Solorio. With kick in coming up. Pete Winslow asking for a little bit more space. Those chairs in the San Jose technical area kind of getting in his way. That ball off of Kwong and Jairo Solorio. That ball comes loose. Stanley Kwong sends it out of play. Now Winslow will try again. Johnson coming through in between the defenders. Jairo Solorio right there. Omar Solorio hits the ball out of play. Another kick in coming up. That ball off of Omar Solorio. Corner kick coming up. Wilson. Motion through the area. Johnson with a shot. Riley Johnson with another goal. And again, Pete Winslow just using that power. And Stanley Kwong, you saw him. He backed up just a little bit right before that kick came through. And that allowed Pete Winslow to get that ball over to Johnson. 3-0 the score. Kwong. That ball off of Johnson. It was. Kick-in coming up for San Jose. Let's see if San Jose can pull one back here. Connolly off of Johnson. Johnson gets around Connolly. Riley Johnson now trying to get around Stanley Kwong. Johnson trying to get around Kwong. Kwong also very good one-on-one. Jairo Solorio, Chad Wilson. That ball off of Connolly, keeps it in play, but a 2-on-1 violation called. So a correction on the scores that I gave you earlier. It's actually Circle City Rollers that are in the lead over Turnstone Flyers. They just scored. It's now 2-0. And CNY United is actually on top of Tampa Thunder at the moment. That score is still 1-0. Sudden Impact Chicago Fire still scoreless. That game in the 13th minute. Oh, and heavy contact. Foul called on Connolly. Now this is going to be a direct free kick for Pete Winslow. Let's see if he just tries to fire that ball right through. Winslow, that ball off of Solorio, off of Wilson. Connolly. Kwong. Riley Johnson. Ball still in play. Jairo Solorio trying to clear the ball away from Johnson, and he does. Now Solorio trying to get it away from Wilson. Solorio driving the ball down the floor. Winslow thought about making a pass, but Solorio cut off his passing lane. And now that ball hit out of play by Jairo Solorio. Winslow, Johnson, a little bit too heavy on the touch. Kick-in coming up for the San Jose Steamrollers. Update from Court 2. Circle City Rollers score again. It's 3-0. Connolly sends that ball down the touchline. That ball pops up and hits Pete Winslow in the chest. So kick in, or excuse me, set ball coming up. That ball out of play. Lindsey Minch in the game for Chad Wilson. The kick out, Riley Johnson. Lots of heavy contact. Winslow cut off by Kwong. Close to a 2-on-1 violation. Winslow, Johnson, Minch, cut off by Solorio. Johnson, Winslow. Winslow couldn't do anything with that ball, but now he's driving towards the San Jose goal again. Winslow driving. Nicely done, Stanley Kwong. Now Riley Johnson keeps that ball in play. Now Johnson with a shot, save Jairo Solorio. And that ball rides up into the guard of Riley Johnson. Let's watch that again. Nice shot, Riley Johnson, and great save by Solorio. That ball is out of play. Kick-in coming up for the Shockwave. Winslow off of Kwong. Winslow goes for a shot again. He just misses. And now Chris Faria coming into the match for San Jose, taking the place of Omar Solorio. Kwong Trying to get around Winslow. That ball out of play before Kwong hit it. So kick in coming up. And that ball pushed out by Johnson. Minch taking on Stanley Kwong. And that ball is out. We're going to have a kick in coming up for San Jose. Kwong off of Chris Faria. Kick in coming up for the Shockwave. Minch to Johnson. Johnson, that ball pops up in the air.
One extra starting now, coaches. One extra starting now.
Winslow, Johnson, back to Winslow. Winslow across, and that was almost in the goal, but Jairo Solorio alert and ready for that. Now Winslow looking to rifle this ball across, and there it is. Riley Johnson just misses, though. Again, that ball comes through with so much pace. It's understandable that sometimes even Pete Winslow's teammates miss the ball. So there's a halftime whistle. Shockwave go up early, scoring in under 30 seconds. And they put up 2 more. It's 3-0. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, second half, you're watching the 2019 USPSA MK Battery Conference Cup Series. Minnesota Shockwave 3, San Jose Steamrollers 0. Second half about to start. I want to thank you all for joining us today. If you want to watch this final day in 1080 high definition, make sure to check out the Power Soccer Shop YouTube channel. Power Soccer Shop on YouTube. Click that red subscribe button to keep up on all the videos and all the games that are coming to you. Also, check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/PowerSoccerUSA. Pete Winslow taking the kick. That ball all the way across. Chad Wilson sends it into the goal area. That ball out of play. Johnson into Omar Solorio. Kwong takes that pass from Connolly. Kwong down to Solorio. Johnson saves that ball. That ball off of Kwong and out of play. Pete Winslow, that ball off of Jairo Solorio. And I have to say, although it took him a few minutes to adjust, once the San Jose defense got an idea of the pace and power that comes with Pete Winslow's kicks, they've managed to hold off the Shockwave for the most part. Unfortunately, it came after 3 goals. Winslow, Wilson chips it off the side of his chair and it goes out of play. Connolly sends it into Wilson, and that ball just outside the post. Johnson over to Winslow. Stanley Kwong trying to take it. Connolly sends that ball down the floor. Nice move by Ryan Connolly to just push the Shockwave back a little bit. And Riley Johnson just so good with that ball. Kwong hits that ball off of Winslow. Kwong can't keep that ball in play, and this is exactly where the Shockwave want it. Wilson, that ball off of Solorio. Wilson coming in again. Wilson, that ball all the way across to Riley Johnson. And Pete Winslow, the Minnesota Shockwave, run the same play, but this time San Jose was fooled. And that allowed that ball to get through Riley Johnson with the goal. 4-0 the score. In Court 3, RHI sudden impact. Lead Glass of Chicago Fire 1-0. And now into the match for Chad Wilson, Leo Hildes. Connolly sends that ball into Winslow, and it nearly touches the sky, so we're going to have a set ball. Winslow right into Ryan Connolly. And close to a 2-on-1 violation. Omar Solorio had to come off the floor. Johnson, Winslow, late on the 180 spin kick. Johnson sends that ball. Omar Solorio. Now, Connolly could have let that ball roll out and at least given his team a kick in or a goal kick. Now, Johnson and Winslow talking things over. Callum Kane is in the match right now. Ryan Connolly comes out. Stanley Kwong comes back in. That ball off of Omar Solorio. Winslow, Hieldis hits that ball out of play. Johnson to Pete Winslow. Winslow driving. Pete Winslow tries to tap that ball between the two defenders. But Stanley Kwong right there, nicely done. Leo Hieldis can't connect with that ball. Kick in coming up for San Jose. And another substitution. It looks like Riley Johnson, well, Hieldis coming off. Tiffany Ostrom coming on. Kane. Callum Kane taking on Riley Johnson. And close to a 2-on-1 violation. Referee Andy Green calls it. Indirect free kick coming up for the Shockwave. CNY United score again. They lead Tampa Thunder 2-0 on court 4. Winslow off of Solorio. Now, Sid Carnala in the match tries to get that ball down the floor. Johnson. Connolly. Riley Johnson pulls that ball away. Winslow. That ball's out of play. Kick in, Steamrollers. Ostrom trying to keep that ball in the area, but Stanley Kwong takes it away. Johnson a little too heavy on the touch. That ball comes out, but Jairo Solorio, one of the most experienced goalkeepers you'll find. Nice turn, Solorio. Johnson, though, gets positioning on Riley Johnson. And Connolly, right there at the goal line for San Jose. Riley Johnson trying to find space to score. Johnson off of the San Jose defense. Corner kick coming up. Riley Johnson looking for motion play here. That ball off of Kwong, and now Carnala touches the ball, sends it in. Nathan Mayer, who hasn't really been troubled very much in this game, now under pressure from Sid Carnala. Riley Johnson's there to support. Kwong holds on to the ball. Kwong trying to get some space off of Johnson. Connolly. Winslow. Pete Winslow with the ball. Jairo Solorio, Stanley Kwong. That ball off the back of Winslow's chair. That's out of play. And it looks like Leo Gildas is about to come back into the match. Nathan Mayer coming out of the goal area, and Gildas will take over between the posts. On court 3, RHI Sudden Impact 2. Glasses Chicago Fire 0. Winslow into Kwong. That ball comes out to Ostrom. Ostrom off of Solorio. Johnson holds on to the ball. Keeps the attack going for the Shockwave. Ball still in play. Johnson, nice turn. Johnson, Winslow across. Ostrom just misses. And you see that ball just out of reach of Tiffany Ostrom. That ball off of Omar Solorio into the San Jose goal area, but Kwong has it now. And Riley Johnson somehow holds on to that ball. That ball comes out to Winslow. Johnson, the shot, saved by Solorio. Johnson trying to get through. Riley Johnson pushes through. Riley Johnson with a goal. 5-0 the score now. You see, once Riley Johnson got that ball on the side of Solorio's chair, Solorio really had no chance. And now Omar Solorio out, Ryan Connolly in, Chris Faria also in the game. Congratulations to Chris Faria. Not only is he a player for the San Jose Steamrollers, but he's the coach of the San Jose Flash. And for the second year in a row, the Flash have won their tournament and have earned promotion yesterday in a thrilling overtime victory over the Wisconsin Warriors. San Jose Flash won the President's Conference and earned promotion to the Champions Conference next season. Champions Conference, the second level of U.S. Power Soccer, right underneath the Premier Conference. So Pete Winslow out of the match. Lindsey Minch in. Johnson all the way across to Ostrom. Tiffany Ostrom just a little bit late. She made contact with the ball, but not enough to redirect it towards the San Jose goal area. And we have a final on court 2. Circle City Rollers 3, Turnstone Flyers 0. That ball off the back of Faria. Ostrom working against Stanley Kwong. Ostrom trying to find the ball, and she does. Ryan Connolly takes it, though. Johnson, good patient move. And now Solorio could have let that ball go. Minch with an opportunity to score, but she couldn't get the ball in the front of her chair. And the kick out to Ostrom, trying to go back down to Minch. And there's Ostrom again. Ostrom with a shot and a save. Tiffany Ostrom almost scores. Ball still in play. It's right there on the end line. Tiffany Ostrom very close to scoring. Now Johnson. That ball still in play in the attacking area for Minnesota. Ostrom holding on. Kwong trying to turn her around. That ball still in play along the touchline there. Ostrom getting dragged down the floor by Kwong. And she kicks it out of play. Substitution for San Jose coming up. Chris Faria coming out. And Sid Carnala coming in. Connolly across, but it's cut off by Johnson. Johnson with room to move down the floor. Riley Johnson dragging Jairo Solorio down the floor. Stanley Kwong is in the area. Riley Johnson met by Kwong. Minch with a shot, save Kwong. And that ball is out of play. Now Riley Johnson going to take the kick. While Pete Winslow gets all the attention for the power that he has, Riley Johnson pretty powerful in his own right, but Ryan Connolly cuts off that ball. Connolly trying to get around Hieldis. And Hieldis knocks it out of play. Connolly across off of Johnson. Kwong off of Hjeldes, and that rolls out for a corner kick. Connolly off of Johnson, and now Tiffany Ostrom collects the ball, and referee Andy Green blows the final whistle. Minnesota Shockwaves score 5, and they win this one with a clean sheet. Updates on other courts. On court 3, Sudden Impact over Glass of Chicago Fire, and on court 4, CNY United 2-0 over Tampa Thunder. We're going to take a break. When we come back, more action. It's Championship Tuesday here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. We'll be back with more from the 2019 USPSA MK Battery Conference Cup Series.